Guys, Ricardo Science is back at it again for another video, and today I'll be pretty much explaining my Meps experience overall, like how did it go, my opinions, my overall rating, and pretty much how it goes. So if you guys don't know what Meps is, Meps stands for the Military Entrance Processing Station. It's pretty much where everyone goes to if you're thinking about enlisting. If you're like in the Marines, Navy, Air Force, pretty much all the branches, that's the first thing you go through. It's pretty much where you take your asvab, your PICAT, and pretty much a whole physical exam. Like if you've been into those sport ones, it's pretty much that, but a little bit more into that. So pretty much I woke up Tuesday morning. I woke up around 5 in the morning. I packed all that stuff. My recruiter told me to pack pretty much 2 sets of clothes. Told me to bring a lot of my personal documents, such as your social security number, your driver's license, your diploma, all that stuff, so that they can prove it back at Meps when you get there. My Meps was at Butte, and pretty much was a 7-hour drive, but the shuttle was gonna pick me up at Buffalo. So I told my recruiter to just drop me off there. It was only like an hour drive. Once I got to Buffalo, there was a shuttle that was gonna pick me up that will take me to Butte. So I met the coolest guy named Larry, the shuttle driver. He was an old man, pretty chill guy. I met him. Pretty much I was by myself in that shuttle for like 2 hours or 3 hours or so, till we went to Billings to go pick up other 3 kids. 2 kids were Special Warfare, Air Force, pretty much like jumping out of planes type of deal, and 1 Marine guy. Pretty much they were pretty chill. We didn't talk as much. We talked at the little beginning, like we talked for like 30 minutes during the drive. We stopped at a gas station, and then that's where it got awkward. Like no one talked. I started conversations, but no one like tried to continue it. So I just took a nap. It was a really rough drive. The guy was pretty much speeding the entire time. The shuttle guy, Larry, I felt really uncomfortable. I felt like every time, I don't know, it was the weirdest drive ever. 3 hours later, we arrived at Butte, and the first thing we did is we went straight to Meps. The reason why is because we all had to take the verification of the PICAT. If you guys don't know what the PICAT is, pretty much it's an asvab, but you take it at home, and it's unproctored, so you can take your time on it. And pretty much you pass, and you get a score at the end. Your recruiter has a score, and I got an 88 on it. But they gotta pretty much prove that you didn't cheat on it. So that's when we went to Meps first. And Meps at Butte is in a federal building. It was like a courthouse type of deal. I'll show a photo here. The shuttle dropped us off. We went inside, and since it was a federal building, there was like security. So there was like the metal detectors. We had to give them our bags to do the X-ray. It was like an airport type of deal. We got through that, and we went straight to Meps. We checked in. We pretty much told them what branch we're going into, our names. We give them our IDs. Really important to bring your IDs. They will need that the entire day and for the physical exams. So please bring that. But give us a little folder, pretty much containing all the rules, or like the procedures, anything. Like they even gave us a little picture of the commander. So if we ever have to see him or pass by him, we have to like respect him. It was a whole deal. After that, we went into the testing room, and we give him RD. The testing guy, we give him our IDs, and they put us in designated seats. And he typed in whatever we're doing, so we're taking the PICAT verification. And the PICAT verification is 30 questions. You have 45 minutes, and all the questions contain all of the similar answers that you have answered on the PICAT that you took at home. For me, it was the easiest thing ever. I finished it in like 10 minutes. But the stupidest thing ever is that there's been times, and I've seen it on Reddit, I've seen other people say it, but they did not pass the verification test. And even though they answered all the answers correctly. And that happened to me. I answered almost every single question right, and it went straight into the normal ASVAB, and I was absolutely mad. I was so out of it, and I told the proctor guys like, "Hey, there's something wrong," and the guy was like, "Oh, so you must have failed the verification test." I'm like, "Oh, bro. And so I had to take the whole asvab there. I took practice tests on like how the actual asvab is, so I knew like everything except that I was like, we just got out of a 7-hour drive. I was so tired. I was really tempting on just passing the PICAT verification test, but I didn't. So I had to speed run the whole asvab. It was worse than the ACT I took, bro. Oh my gosh. I pretty much don't know what score I got. I'll tell you guys the score later. Well, actually, I can tell you now. I got an 88, but then I had to take the asvab, so I got a 78 now. I'm so mad, but either ways, there was other 2 tests too. So for the Air Force, you take the cyber test, and pretty much your cybersecurity stuff. I'm that guy, so I pretty much kind of cooked on that. It was the really important one they kind of take serious. It's the personality test, also known as the TAPIS, whatever you call it. It's pretty much a personality test. They give you 2, so it gives you a prompt on each. So there's 2 questions, gives you a prompt. Pretty much you guys try to answer as closely as that is. There's 140 questions and you have to complete it in an hour. So it was pretty easy, except that there was some questions that were so stupid and honestly the weirdest things ever. So I took my time on it because they do take that seriously, and it also depends on like how seriously you take into that job that you're gonna go into. So it's pretty much a really important test. So please do not speed run it. After that, I had to wait for a Uber. Since the Meps at Butte is really small, they do Ubers instead of bus drives. On like the videos I've seen where they go to like these big Meps places where there contain 60 people or so around there, and they have to ride like buses back and forth. I had to ride an Uber. Like, I had to ride an Uber. They had to call an Uber to pick me up to take me to the hotel. I thought that was that was the coolest thing ever. So again, I left the Meps. The Uber picked me up and we went straight to the hotel. I met this guy named Tim. He was he was like the afternoon guy. He pretty much, I signed in. He was like, okay, so here are the rules. He gave me these 2 pieces of paper. He gave me pretty much the rules of like what you should take at Meps and the hotel rules. Pretty much dinner's at 5 to 8. No one's allowed in your room besides you and your roommate. Pool, and so they were allowing people at the pool, which I told my recruiter about that, and my recruiter recommended not to go to the pool, so I did not go to the pool. A lot of people were, because they told me that affects your physical thing, but I didn't go to the pool either way. Since I was 18, I was allowed to go outside of the hotel, but I needed a battle buddy with me because they had that you have to bring someone with you outside. But again, I barely knew anyone, so I was like, it's not worth it. And pretty much our wake up call was at 5 a.m. and to be there at 5:30. So, oh my gosh, guys, I'm in the hotel. I got my little brochure of like everything. I think I have the room to myself, guys. So cool. Well, for now, don't want to jinx it. So, time to get some food. I don't know. I'm so lonely. There's like no one. If you saw that video, pretty much I did not go get dinner. I was pretty awkward. It was like the breakfast you see in the morning, except it was the weirdest thing ever. So I ordered myself some Pizza Hut, and that was the best thing ever. So I'm not trying to be weird, but I was taking a shower, and that was the first time I heard my roommate come in the room, and I was scared. I didn't know how my first impression, because I was in the shower, so like I didn't get to go and like see him. And he left while I was taking a shower too. Like he came in and out, like just like that while I was taking a shower. And I didn't want to go to bed, not meeting my roommate, because if we wake up and he's barely gonna know who I am, or like it would have been awkward. So I stayed up till he came back to the room, and I did finally get to meet the guy. He was pretty chill. He was going into the Marines. I told him I was going into the Air Force, and we had a little chat. And it was getting late, so we just went to bed because we had to wake up at 5 a.m. We wake up at 5 a.m. As you seen in the video. Not the video, the photo. I was pretty tired. I didn't get enough sleep. I don't know why, I couldn't sleep much. I dressed up for the day. I wore a button-up shirt. Not really a button-up shirt. It was a button-up shirt with some jeans. I wore my shoes and I went straight down to get some breakfast because for sure they're not gonna give us lunch till like 2. So I had to eat something. And also the first thing I did is drink a lot of water. We'll get into that why. And I realized that there was only 8 people that were going to Meps. And again, I seen a bunch of videos explaining that a lot of people were going with a lot of people. And I remember my recruiter telling me that Butte's Meps is really small. So there's gonna be a fewer applicants than regular to like Denver where there's gonna be like 60. So it was the best thing ever. So we got breakfast. I did meet up with my shuttle mates who were on the shuttle with me. We actually got to catch up a little bit. They were pretty much explaining where I was, but I was like, again, I was in my room the entire time, so I didn't go out and like see people. We didn't leave till 6, even though they called us. We didn't leave actually like 6:30, even though they called us to be down there by 5:30. So it was, and there was a morning person too. It was a girl, and we didn't leave till 6:30. So and then the weirdest part is that we took back Ubers to the Meps. Again. Meps Buttes is really small, as I explained, so we had to take Ubers instead of buses. We got into Meps, and we got to meet the same people who were checking us in as we took into the asvab. But this time they all called us in a room, the brief room, and the old guy explained all the rules. Again, on the folder that I explained, pretty much just fully explained it. And after that, we went straight into the the downstairs, the medical section. There was a young nurse, and she put us in a briefing room again, and pretty much it was a piece of paper which explained what all the things they were gonna do to us. Like the blood test, the HIV thingy, vision, hearing, your height and weight, the whole physical exam. There was a bunch of things. Oh yeah, and the drug test. The thing though is that there was 8 of us and there was 2 nurses, so it was where the boring part comes in. We had to wait because one nurse was doing this stuff while the other doctor nurse was doing this stuff. So we're pretty much in our chairs waiting to be called up. The first one I did was the blood pressure, right? Yeah, it was the blood pressure. Because I remember them calling me up and they were like, it would take only 25 seconds and all she had to do is put the thingy on my shoulder and it was really quick, and they gave us a piece of a folder containing all of your medical paper, the thingies that they're gonna fill out. And there was a really important rule to not share anything in that folder to any of your peers or like the people in the room. And there was a little checklist of like everything. And the quickest thing, that was like the quickest check mark. Boom! I got done with the blood pressure. And one thing I would recommend is to not drink coffee in the morning. I know a lot of you guys like to drink coffee, especially you're at a hotel, but the morning girl was like, do not drink coffee because that will kill your blood pressure or something like that. So I was like, yeah, you're right. The second thing that I did was the drug test. I had to pee that morning so badly. Like I was holding it, like I knew they were gonna drug test us. So I hold my pee till I think that time. And there was a guy, he really explained that he was gonna watch us pee. I'm like, oh my God. And I did not want to do it. I didn't want to go pee with a guy staring at me. But I had to go. So he gave me a cup. I had to put my name on it, all that stuff. And I had to pee in the cup while that guy was intensely staring at me. He was like, fully watching me pee. I'm not even exaggerating. Bro was looking at me pee. Like, they had to make sure that I wasn't switching pee with other guys. Like, bro. That's not the weirdest thing that has happened today, guys. So don't you worry. That was like the first thing that's happened to me that's been the weirdest. Pretty much, I peed in a cup and I gave it to the doctor and boom. But the drug test done. The third thing I did was the HIV test. They called us in a room. The doctor called us in a room. And I sit in the chair. It was like if you're donating blood. But this is the first time ever that the blood has drawn out of me. So I was kind of scared, but at the same time, I mean, it was like taking a shot, but on your arm. I did look at it, I am not scared of needles, so I watched her point that needle in my vein. And again, I gotta admit, that was the coolest thing ever because I saw the blood draw out, and it was the quickest thing too. It was painless, and it took like 15 seconds, and boom, I was done. I was bleeding a little bit actually, but it was the quickest thing ever. And so, I mean, that was quite an experience, getting my blood drawn first time at Meps. The other thing I did was the interview. So another doctor calls you in a room, pretty much goes over what you have said to your recruiter beforehand. So if you told your recruiter that you had asthma or anything, the doctor makes sure that you pretty much said that you said it in front of them so they know. But I have no medical issues or like anything that's bad in my medical history, so I pretty much said no ma'am the entire time. It was the quickest interview ever. I think it didn't take that long. Like she said all this stuff and I said no. Like none of this has happened to me. So interview thing, check. The next thing I did was the hearing. They put you in a room, like in a solidated room. It's like the quietest room in the world type of deal. You're in a box. You're each put in a corner, and you have headphones and you have a clicker, and you pretty much wear headphones. And there's sounds that go on the left side and the right side of your ears. And if you hear the sound, you click on it. It's like the frequency. So like there's 5 hertz. It goes all the way to like really high pitched frequencies, and I did pass that. There was like a couple of 5s. It's not bad. The 0s are the lowest you could get, and I got pretty good scores on my hearing. Well, there was times where I would be hearing the sound, but really there isn't a sound. But then there's times where there is no sound, but there is a sound. It's like one of those times where it messes up your mind so much that you're thinking that you're hearing something, but really there's nothing, or maybe there is something. So I would be randomly clicking to make sure that I'm listening to the sound. But in reality, I was done with the whole test. I was just making up sounds. It was the weirdest thing ever. And at the end too, you don't know if you're done or not again. So you're awkwardly standing there, or not standing, sitting there, waiting to see if either you're done or everyone is done and they get you out of the box. That was like the most awkward thing ever. And the doctor literally said to not talk to anyone or like make anything to the people in the box. I broke that rule. I went straight to everyone else, and they were doing the same exact thing. They were like making sure everyone was done, and we got yelled at that. But it wasn't a big deal. After hearing, I did vision, and they pretty much do depth perception. They focus on your eye vision and color blindness. I passed color blindness. That was like the easiest thing ever. The depth perception though was the stupidest thing ever. It was like one of those. It gives you a box, and there's 4 circles, and there's one that shows out. It's like 3D. I saw box 1 and 2, but I couldn't see box 3. It was awkward because I didn't know how to tell the doctor. Should I tell the doctor, hey, I can't see the circle, or like should I lie to the doctor? I pretty much just said that I can't see the circle, and I pretty much failed the depth perception test. But she said that wasn't a big deal because she couldn't even pass the first box, and everyone else has failed it too. So I mean, I didn't lose any much jobs, but it was like, I think it was just 1 job. And after that too, I went on Reddit when I had my phone, and pretty much everyone failed that too. So I swear it was a biased test. The other one was the auto reflector. Pretty much it's a machine that looks into your eyes. So like for me, I have glasses, so I have to take off my glasses, and they look into your eyes to see how much they have to correct it. And we'll get into that later, but they have to look into my eyes so much, and I don't know how to explain it. We'll go into that later. Second to last thing I've done was my weight and height. Easiest thing ever. Pretty much stand on a scale. You weigh this much. So I weighed 177, and my height, I think I was 5'10". So I was pretty good for the weight and height distribution. The final thing was the actual physical exam. And it wasn't like the things you have seen on Meps where everyone is in one whole room. This time, for me, they pulled you out in like single, like everyone, like separately. So they pulled me out. They pretty much told me to take off my clothes except my underwear, and it told me to do these several tasks, such as like spinning your arms, making sure you're flex, pretty much everything. And you had to do the duck walk. This is the duck walk. They also had to check on your lungs, your ears, and for males, they had to check your private spots. They had to look into your butthole. Again, I'm not gonna go in full depth into that. It was just the most awkward. That was the most awkward thing in my entire life. So I'm not gonna explain it. I went back to the doctor. She basically explained everything such as my vision, my hearing, and everything else except I passed everything except my vision. Back to my vision, when they were doing the what is it called, the auto reflector thingy, they had to correct on my eyes so much that it bypassed the minimum requirement, and so that means that I failed the vision test, which means I got disqualified for the military. And they told me that I need a waiver for that. And pretty much that waiver is this. It's the highlighted parts. Pretty much I need an eye doctor to check that my eyes are okay. Pretty much they are. I have 20/20 vision. As shown from my medical thingy, I have 20/20 vision, except that without my glasses, I don't get that. I was kind of like, I was gonna yell at the doctor at that moment, but I was like, oh, whatever. I gave up, and it was the most boringest thing ever, too. So overall, all the things that we have done, all the exams, it went really fast, except the physical exam where it took like 15 minutes for each person. So I was awkwardly sitting there. I did socialize with other people. We were watching SpongeBob, Ben and Jerry, and South Park, and pretty much got to chat until I went into my physical exam. After that, though, I went upstairs. I went to go check in with my Air Force guy. He pretty much explained that, again, I need a waiver for my vision. I told him the score. He told me the score that I got a 79 on it, and I think it was it, and he told me that I was done for the day. They also did my fingerprints, too, and that was it. That was my Meps. I gotta wait until all my shuttle buddies were done, and while that was happening, one of my mates actually got to swear in, which is actually like one person actually sweared in out of the 8 people. So 7 of us didn't swear in that day, including me. So I was kind of mad, but at the same time, I mean, it's a whatever deal. You got to swear in, so congrats to him. Pretty much, yeah, I patiently waited for my other guys to get done with their physical exams, and they also got waivers, so they get to swear in. So that means we kind of get to leave early. I called in the Larry guy, and he picked us up in front of the federal building, and pretty much after that we left. We went straight back to Billings. We dropped off the 3 kids. Then after Billings, we went straight back to Buffalo. He dropped me off there, and my recruiter picked me up. And pretty much my recruiter explained that it wasn't a big deal, my vision thing. All I needed to do was just get an appointment in, get all the data so that he gets it. Yeah, he sends it to the medical commander, and I think that was it. Yeah. I didn't get to swear in, sadly. Really mad at it. Yeah, I think that includes everything. That is my Meps experience. I kind of debated because it was a small Meps, so it didn't take us long. It only took, it was forever. It took forever because there was 8 of us, and it was only 2 doctors. But at the same time, it was calm, it was peaceful. All the staff were respectful, like they were really kind. unlike with the videos I've seen where they were pretty much rude, they were assholes, they were just, they didn't enjoy their jobs at all. But these doctors did. They really enjoyed talking to these applicants, getting to know them, getting these exams done, and I pretty much enjoyed it. It was fun. I was kind of scared in the beginning. I seen a lot of videos, and I was kind of scared. I was not going to deal with a lot of mean doctors, but I didn't get to. So I'm really thankful that I didn't get any meaningful doctors, and I got to meet a lot of great people, which I hope I get to see them later in BMT. But right now I can't because I'm kind of delayed with my whole vision thing. So I did get their snaps. So again, pretty cool. If you guys are in this video, what's up? Yeah, I think that is it. That is my Meps experience. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Like and subscribe. And if you guys have any questions, just leave them down in the comments below. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video next week. Wait, maybe. Yeah.